Residents in the far north are on emergency alert tonight as a tropical low intensifies and threatens to turn into Cyclone Dylan as it approaches the Queensland coast. The major concern is tidal flooding, with the wild weather system due to hit at the same time as king tides. Our team is in the danger zone. Weather expert Josh Holt is in Cardwell and reporter Chris Campy is in Ingham. First now though to Josh, what is the latest advice from the Weather Bureau?
Good evening, Georgie. Well, in fact, we've just had an update from the Bureau of Meteorology. A cyclone warning has now been reissued and it stretches all the way from Cairns in the state's north all the way through to Mackay. We've also got a cyclone watch, which is a heads up from Mackay all the way down to St Lawrence. Now, while I stand here tonight, you may be saying, what cyclone? It looks okay. And the conditions at the moment here in Cardwell in North Queensland are pretty good. There's just a light breeze, but that's because our tropical low is 505 kilometres northeast of Townsville currently, but it is tracking in a southwesterly direction towards Townsville at around about 12 kilometres per hour. Now, as we take a look at the expected winds over the next 48 hours, you can see the system starting to deepen, starting to get a little bit stronger. Now, there is the possibility as it crosses the coast during the early hours of Friday morning close to Townsville, it could be a Category 1 system. So we could see those wind speeds just over 100 kilometres per hour. In fact, we could start to see some damaging winds tonight across the northeast coast. The big feature out of this system will certainly be the rainfall. We're expecting 4-day totals in excess of 400 millimetres widespread for the coast and also the adjacent inland. We've also got a severe weather warning for abnormally high tides, which stretches right across the northeast tropical coast and tablelands, and also for the Capricornia coast. Now, when you combine that with the heavy rain over the next few days, no doubt we'll see extensive flooding right across the region. So, Georgie, quite a dangerous situation, and Emergency Management Queensland is asking everyone to take care. We'll have further updates coming up shortly. Thank you. Josh Holt reporting there live in Cardwell. And now let's go just down the highway to Chris Campy, who is in Ingham. And Chris, are residents there prepared?
They certainly are, Georgie. This being North Queensland, they've seen a lot of these severe weather events in the past, especially here in Ingham, where they have seen serious flooding from these systems that come in off the coastline. In Townsville, it's a bit of a different story. They're encountering a king tide over 4 metres, which could coincide with some of that heavy rainfall that Josh spoke about, and that could push levels up an extra metre, which could, of course, threaten homes. But at this stage, authorities are saying be prepared, but not panicked. For some North Queenslanders, this is a familiar routine.
Getting a few sandbags ready to go in case we need them. Hopefully we don't.
Low-lying areas of South Townsville saw the high tides wash onto roads this morning. The next 2 days of rainfall could add another metre.
Right through the district, we could see totals of up to 200 millimetres per day. So, yeah, quite a deluge expected.
With the weather system pushing south, residents in red zone districts or likely flood areas have been warned by SMS.
About 5% of our population is affected, and we need them to be aware and to take precautions.
Marina staff are securing boats and preparing for strong winds. EMQ ready to respond.
I'm bringing some additional staff into the area just in case, but at this stage we've had really minimal calls. It's good to see people are prepared up here.
Especially where they've seen flooding before. Ingham sits close to the likely path of the developing cyclone.
Like all of the councils here on the coast, they're very well prepared, but unfortunately they get a bit of experience.
The state government is monitoring the weather and local ministers will travel to affected regions. The Premier reminding those caught by the likely deluge to take the threat seriously.
Please, if it's flooded, forget it. Don't risk your life. Vehicles can be easily swept away in what is a very low level of water.
Local disaster management teams will meet again in the morning. So as you can see, residents and emergency services, for want of a better word, are back into a bit of a routine with this event as it approaches the coastline. They're still in a bit of a wait and see. Townsville, especially now that this system is tracking south, is in the firing line, and those low-lying areas could pose a threat, and that's what authorities are worried about at the moment.
It is certainly concerning. Thank you. Chris Campy reporting live there from Ingham.